All right, happy Wednesday night, everybody. Coming to you from the Raiderland World headquarters. Going to have a fun show. I hope you enjoy it. I hope you participate and have a lot of fun. And we got some Texas Tech football breaking the internet news with the video release on the Womble Football Center. We've got Tech softball stunned today at North Texas. What is it about North Texas and Texas Tech and upset sometimes? And then what if Wednesday, the Alamo question? What if Santa Ana didn't take down the Alamo? There are a lot of different roads you can go down on that one. We'll explain as we go through, but that's what if Wednesday is. We take a moment in history, sports or otherwise, and we say, what if Santa Ana didn't annihilate the defenders at the Alamo? All right, you guys know what to do. The early arrivals, so whether you are on Twitter X at Ryan Hyatt Media, on our YouTube channel or our Facebook page, all free. Give us thumbs up. Let us know the audio is good, the video is good, and if I can keep from sneezing, hold on, come on. Okay, if I can keep from sneezing, we'll get this thing rolling, and all your comments brought to us and you and everybody else from the wonderful people at United Supermarkets and Market Street here in the Hubaplex and beyond, wherever you are. They take care of folks around West Texas. All right, let's do this. Sniffling in 3 and 2. Good evening, West Texas Texans, all you good, fine, friendly folks out there who wish you were. I'm Ryan Hyde. I think I am. Glad you're with us here on the daily broadcast, brought to you in part by Sideline Provisions, owned and operated by Red Raiders, creators of that original Guns Up hand sign you see there in the upper corner, and you can find them at Quarter 4, the old Cardinal Sports Center in Lubbock, South Loop 289 and Slide Road. Order online as well and get you some really cool shirts, hats, and anything else that wants to make you feel good about being a Texas Tech fan. Also brought to you by The Reserve. That's a culinary tavern right there on 103rd and Quaker. Go by, tell Nick and the crew, we said, hey, start off with some wonderful appetizers, then on to the main entree, which you're going to love. And then it's such a good atmosphere. You can actually hear the music, hear your friends talking, and can you watch the games at Nick? Well, of course you can. They're great Red Raiders. In fact, a lot of them wear Sideline Provisions gear. So check out The Reserve. Tell them we said hello. All right, it is What If Wednesday. We got plenty of things to get into tonight, so we want to hear you on the chat line. Craig, the first one up, the talking box is on. Indeed it is. For those who go all the way back to the original days of the Periscope broadcast, the talking box is on. Okay, so a lot of things, as we mentioned. What if Wednesday, the Alamo questions, what if Santa Ana doesn't take it? What happens next? And if he doesn't take it, then what happened? Why didn't he take the Alamo? Why didn't the Alamo fall? Or did the Alamo fall? And how did it fall? That's the what if question tonight. Let's see how good you guys did in your Texas history classes over the years. Then if you saw the video, it's about a 9.5 minute video released. Antonio Huffman is your tour guide of the new Womble Football Center. And I guess they released it late last night, and it was blowing the internet away today. Just everybody amazed. National writers, national media people retweeting it. The praise was effusive. And also, a lot of people just couldn't believe it. A lot of fans around the country, even media people around, couldn't believe that that's in Lubbock, Texas, that's who Texas Tech is. And it blows away the idea that you can't compete anymore because of money or facilities. You have one of the most impressive, amazing facilities in all of college athletics now in Lubbock, Texas. You got money. You're not poor anymore at Texas Tech. I'll give you an interesting note too a little bit as we go on. So give me your thoughts on that. Just, when you saw that, other than the few of you who might have already been inside it or seen it a couple of times yourself, but not even all of it. No, I mean, nobody really seen, unless you're literally an insider, had seen every aspect that was shown on that video released yesterday. Love to hear your thoughts on it. What are you thinking about that today? And then the crazy thing of the day, what happened to Texas Tech softball? Nigeria, Canada goes the first 4, leaves with I think it was a 4-0 lead at that time. I think it was either 4 or 5-0. Texas Tech really kind of on cruise control. They go to the bottom of the 7th, and they ended up with the bases loaded after a couple of runs score. After 3 runs score, or no, 2 runs score. And 3 pitches later, grand slam sneaks out down the left field foul pole, and Tech is stunned by North Texas. I guess Glasgow felt like the lead was safe enough as the day went on. They ran through several pitchers. But yeah, I think 58 pitches on the day for Nigeria. I guess, you don't want to wear her out going into the weekend. But Texas got to figure out a way to win those games. 13th ranked going in, but just, you could tell by the looks on their faces in the dugout after that grand slam, that's like, what the hell just happened to us? That you literally give up a 6th spot in the bottom of the 7th and could not close it out. So that was the bad news of the day. Going to What If Wednesday, Chris jumping in. Goliad would be remembered by more Texans. Perhaps. And that implies a couple of different routes that we go to on this regarding the impact of the Alamo. And of course, Goliad Massacre takes place roughly 2.5, 3 weeks later. What was that? The 25th, I think. I think it was the 25th, 26th. I lose my dates a little bit sometimes in through there. So Fannon's, group that had struck out, and then they couldn't go anywhere, and then they're staggering around on the plane. It's just a horrible, bad way to get a junior high named after you. Does the command of the Alamo, and here's one way that the Alamo turns out differently. What if the Alamo obeys the orders of General Sam Houston? What if William Barrett Travis and James Bowie and Davy Crockett all agree, this is nuts? Let's go meet up with Fannin and let's fight a rear guard action. That one of the possible alternative outcomes is that they abandon the Presidio, that they sneak out, and they're even after Mexican forces arrived, they probably could have stood out in the early days. The stragglers were still coming in. The main force, took a couple of days to arrive. So do they then? So now you've roughly got about 180 people, fighting men, I guess, right in through there, joining Fannon's, depending on which accounts you want to go with, anywhere from 420 to 450. So now you get that force over 500, and is that force able to take on Santa Anna and General Urrea, or at least fight a rear guard action? That could have been very different. Now, there are other things that could have happened. There are other things that could have happened on Santa Anna's decision to attack the fort. None of the alternative history involves the defenders holding out and winning the battle. That was not going to happen. I mean, that's fanciful, all right? So what if Santa Anna just decides to lay siege to the Alamo with a few hundred troops and cannon and proceed on his merry way to Southeast Texas? Chris, there wouldn't be many middle schools in Amarillo, or there would be many middle schools in Amarillo with different names. For those who don't know, most of the middle schools in Amarillo are named after the Texas heroes. You got Crockett, Bonham. My dad coached at Bonham Junior High when we first got to Amarillo there in 1968. Lose track of some of the years in through there. You got Fannin, Crockett, Travis, Bonham. Am I missing one? Somebody else. I need my Amarillo people to help me out on some of that. It's been a while. Been a while since we were up there. So there's the lay of the land as we go through tonight. Want to hear from you. Texas Tech baseball making another change in the rotation. Siebert is going to be out, and Zane Petty looks like is going to get the Sunday start. So baseball, they need some wins this weekend. It's a little bit of a drop down in competition. Not a lot, obviously, because the UT Longhorns are waiting for you on a Saturday. And Illinois, one of the better teams in the Big Ten. We'll see what Washington has on Sunday, but it's not like you got to go 2-3, but you got to get at least a win this weekend. And I've been moderately pleased with most of the pitching that we've seen, other than the Sunday game against UC Irvine. Walks have not been a problem. You got hit. I would rather give up singles, and that's what UC Irvine was doing. They were hitting a bunch of singles on you, not a ton of extra base hits. Sunday, we saw the ball flying out of the yard a little bit more than we had the first 2 days, but I haven't seen anything for the most part. Again, for the most part, that has really troubled me about the pitching. And that's what teams do this time of year. You adjust rotation. You see which guys handle what, and you move them around. You go through there. Chris, looking forward to seeing Perko against UT. I like the command we've seen out of him early on. He certainly didn't flinch there at North Carolina. So going up against big name teams doesn't seem to bother him right now. Just play a little defense behind you. And I think we saw Saturday and Sunday the bats really begin to come around for this team. So feeling pretty good, other than some of the late starts we got out there in Vegas. I think Jamie Lent will be on that trip, so you don't have to worry about your main play-by-play guy staying in the casinos the whole time. So that's probably one of the better things that we have going on this week. All right, you guys jump in. Thanks to United Supermarkets. The days of tech being poor, being an issue, are over. If you've seen the Womble Center video today, that, as I said, broke the internet and has a lot of college football people around the country scratching their heads, going, "How did that happen?" And it's not just Cody Campbell. It's not just Womble. Texas Tech has grown up as a university. And that means you have people that are now retiring or second generation business owners that have built wealth and created wealth. And they're able to come back the way you didn't have a university like that 50, 40 years ago. You were still an incredibly young university. Lubbock is still an incredibly young town when you get down to it. Things have changed, though. Do the expectations change with that? John Kurtz on his podcast, on his show, great guy up there at Manhattan, Kansas. He's covered the Big 12, Kansas State for many years. I think it was yesterday where he did a segment on his show about, which team is most likely to appear the most times over the next 5 years in the college football playoff. Looking at you, Texas Tech. Alan getting in on YouTube. We love our YouTube people. Remember, everybody watching on YouTube, hit like, share it with a friend, grow the channel. It's all free, but those likes really mean a lot. Football guy wants Tech baseball to play more small ball to score runs. But then football guy wants Tech baseball to hit more home runs. They're not hitting. I thought we were a home run hitting team. Football guy can barely keep up with basketball right now. Throwing baseball into the mix is almost impossible for football guy to understand. And then when you add in football guy, maybe like for the first time ever paying attention to softball, football guy's plate is full right now. Don't even get him started on track and field and golf and tennis. Crazy stuff going on right now. So for those who've seen the video of the new Womble Center for Texas Tech football, what were like the coolest amenities that you saw in the video? What were the things that you're going, oh man, I need that at my house? I got, nothing is left undone in this thing. You can go online. I think either Yahoo or CBS Sports, both of them may have it. I know Outkick does. Every year, they do a survey of the NFL teams, anonymously of the players, about the amenities that they have and the cool stuff they have, and which players like which franchises the best, from locker rooms to player, practice facilities, all these things. The Womble Football Center blows away probably 95% of the NFL, including the Star. I think it may be hard for some Texas Tech fans to really even grasp just how off the chart good that place is. Red Dawn on Twitter X, at Ryan Hyatt Media, if you're not following us. Where is the humidor located? They should have had, it's not too late, and maybe there's one in Joey McGuire's office. I don't know if he smokes cigars or not, but you should absolutely have a victory cigar humidor for when you win the Big 12 championship, to be only to be opened in the event of winning a Big 12 championship. In the trophy room, as you come in, they got a lot of the, bowl trophies and different things sitting out. There's a blank space where, it's up to the team to put next year's Big 12 championship trophy. And you always keep that empty. Even after you win one, you always have an empty space for the next trophy. That's, a lot of teams do that, a lot of things. Yeah, there should be a humidor. So what were some of the coolest amenities the zero gravity chairs they've got in the locker room. You got the hot tub and it's a pool, the cold tub and it's a pool, and that doesn't do it justice. You got all sorts of, relaxation areas. You got a freaking 1980s arcade in there in the players' lounge. It's pretty cool. No, it's real cool. Michael getting in our YouTube channel. Ryan Hyatt's Raiderland, all free, always. Everybody subscribe no matter which platform you're on. I like the huge screens and field protect defense to practice against the other team's defense. Yeah, so you've got what they call a walk-through area. You've got, obviously, the Corky Dome, Sports Performance Center, and all that. The bigger. They've got another one that's bigger than anything, I believe they said, in the NFL. And across one wall, you can do what we call an all-22 video board. Or, you can do anything on the video board there, but an all-22 where you can look at the opposing team's offense and line up against it. You can line up against the film, the computerized version too. I think they can do a computerized version as well. And you can react. You can react in real time watching that screen the way you would just on a field. It's an amazing way to, by the way, to sharpen up keys for defenders, reads and keys. And that's one of the things we talk about watching film and game film. And the film that matters the most is the all-22, where you're looking north-south and not east-west, not from the press box, from the end zones. Even high schools now are putting up their video cameras in the end zone because that's the film that matters the most. Hey, Daryl. Oh, man. Hadn't seen you in a while. This, by the way, put a link up here if you can to your YouTube channel, because he has all the Going Band performances logged in there, and it's really cool. If you kind of miss football or the Going Band, you can go watch a halftime show or a pregame show and stuff. Yes, the barber shop is nice. What was it called? Uncommon Barber, something like that. That, I'm not kidding. They have a 3-chair barber shop that the barber comes in on Friday, so you look good. And I guess on Thursday for a road game. We got a barber shop. It's just where the program has come over the last 25, 30 years. Uncommon Man, that's it. Uncommon Man barber. You got a barber shop in there. It just, that one made me chuckle. Again, you're not a poor school anymore. Texas Tech's all grown up. Certainly within the Big 12, you can compete with anybody. Nationally, you're right there with the money that it takes to drive the bus. Yeah, look good, play good. Or if they let the basketball team run over there occasionally during basketball season, got a big Monday game, something up, going along those lines. I wonder if they'd let them come in. We're talking about the Womble Football Center video. If you saw it, what was like either the craziest thing or the thing you loved or the thing that was just so cool, you're going, man, that's pretty awesome. Also, it's What If Wednesday. What if the Alamo doesn't fall after 13 days of glory? What if the outcome is different? What changes in the Texas Revolution? What if Santa Anna? Now he's gonna. If he attacks, he's gonna win. What if he doesn't attack? What if he bypasses it, lays siege to it? What if the defenders leave? What if they follow the orders of Sam Houston? Is there a runaway scrape after that? People who got their high school education outside of the state of Texas, you can Google runaway scrape. He is the sports director at KMAC 28, your host in Red Raider Nation, 6 and 10, David Collier. Reeds and Keys was the band of my woodwind and piano. Name of my woodwind and piano band back in middle school. Old Reeds and Keys band. Red Dawn off Twitter X at Ryan Hyatt Media. I volunteered to test the cigar lounge. Everybody on Twitter, be sure and share this too as well. Joey's office is bigger than President Trump's office. Well, you've got the office, and then you've got the closing room, where you finalize the deal. Maybe that's what President Trump needs. You know, you got the Oval Office, then you have another office where just all the deals are done. They're beautiful, magnificent deals, best deals in the history of the country. All the deals right here in this room. Chris, on what if Wednesday, does San Jacinto go down the way it did without the Alamo? Great question. You're not shouting, remember the Alamo. If there is no Alamo battle, it does beg the question, though, does Goliad become the massacre site? Let's say those forces are managed to hook up, and you do have a force of 500 or more, and General Urea and Santa Anna in a pincer move come down upon them. They get cut off. They get reduced. Santa Anna was going to kill somebody. Santa Anna was going to try to kill a lot of somebodies. That he still really thought that what he did there in Central Texas, or, you know, at that time, the western edge, that would be enough in a way that he might not have to fight a pitched battle the way he did when he got down there, Buffalo Bayou. Obviously, that proved to be wrong, proved to be his undoing, that he fought that pitched battle. Well, he didn't really fight it. So then does Goliad become the rallying cry? I mean, it was a tactical blunder in one way to attack the Alamo. People will say, well, okay, his supply lines were stretched too thin. He knew he had to have San Antonio in order to reinforce his supply lines. I disagree with that to the extent that he could have absolutely laid siege to the men inside the Alamo with a smaller force. He would have controlled the town. He could have used the San Antonio town as the staging area if that's what he chose to do. He still could have done that while starving out and running out of ammunition the men inside the Alamo. But his hubris attacked the Alamo. You know, what if the Alamo doesn't go down the way it did? How different is Texas history? You tell us today. Chris, does Joey have a Diet Coke button like Trump? I'm willing to bet there's like a soda machine or something in there. You know, there's a cooler or something in there. Spike had a Coleman cooler in his office. One of the GAs had to ice it down every day. Meanwhile, back at David Collier, imagine telling people that Texas Tech football couldn't mail out letters back in what was the late 90s to early 2000s. Yeah, the old stamp gate in like 2002 or 3. I lose track of which year it was, where Mike Leach gets crossways with the athletic department, and Bobby Gleason was the chief financial officer back then. And basically, you know, they just didn't have enough money for stamps. Couldn't send out recruiting stuff. I mean, you could, but you had only a limited amount. There was only so much you could do, and they didn't have enough stamps. Now, you've got a barber shop in a fairly short amount of time, in little over a 20-year window. Also, David Collier came back 28. He's on our Facebook page. Lots of people on Facebook. We love our Facebook people. If you're not on our Facebook page, Ryan Heights Raiderland, subscribe to it. We put some different stuff on there as well during the day that you don't want to miss. If the Alamo didn't fall, they probably wouldn't have the state basketball tournament there this week and next. Great point. You'd be playing at the Goliad Dome. Boy, that would be different. Just doesn't have quite the same realm to it. If you're just getting in, it is What If Wednesday. We are also getting your thoughts on the Texas Tech Womble Center for Football. And if you watch that video of 9.5 minutes of gloriousness, you now know that Tech ain't poor, and now the rest of the country does. And it's been very interesting for me to see both media reaction and fan reaction around the country on that video. A lot of them are just flat out shocked that that's Texas Tech. That's supposed to be at Alabama. That's supposed to be at Ohio State or Michigan. That's not supposed to be at Texas Tech. And it is. So, again, what impressed you the most? What were some of the coolest features? I got to get me one of them. What do they call it? Zero gravity chairs or something? Something like that. You got, I can't play video games worth a flip anymore other than Tecmo Bowl. They need to have a retro deal. Well, actually, they do have what looks like an 80s arcade because I saw a Pac-Man machine in there. Wonder what else they got. Then you had your ubiquitous ping pong table. You had a billiards table. As Don Williams would say, that's not a pool table. That's a billiards table. And something else. Couldn't tell. Ping pong. As long as there are sports locker rooms, college and pro, ping pong will never go away. Not going to do it tonight because we're kind of running out of time, and I want to give it its just due. A deeper dive tomorrow on Texas Tech men's basketball, and can they make a deep run in the NCAA tournament? Are they potential NCAA championship material based on some of the metrics we've seen over the last 25 years, and even deeper, that all of the previous NCAA champions had on their resume at the time the NCAA tournament started? Is there something that would hold them back on that metric, or that they check off a lot of boxes? Hat tip to my friend Gil Alexander, VSiN Network. He has put together a metric that goes back, like I said, 25 years, and it'll be very interesting to see right now where Texas Tech falls and how many teams right now check off all the boxes. I'll do that tomorrow. Also, I was listening today with Matt Cox from Three Man Weave, great college basketball podcast and everything else. And he was adamant about the depth of this year's field in college basketball. That there are, in their opinion, they're at Three Man Weave, highly respected college basketball experts, that there are 20 teams that could legitimately make a run at the Final Four, a much higher number at this point in the season than they've seen over the last 5 or 10 years, which again portends pretty good if you're a 4 seed like Texas Tech. So we'll do a deeper dive tomorrow on basketball. We've got a couple of more minutes left with you before we get out of here. What if Wednesday? What if the Alamo does not fall the way it fell? And how does it affect Texas history? In my mind, we still end up somewhere around San Jacinto. Maybe not San Jacinto, but somewhere there. That if it doesn't fall, one of two things happened. The men inside the Alamo, they lay siege to it with a small Mexican force. Santa Anna moves on. Fannin is still an idiot down at Goliad, and it's still entirely possible that he gets either wiped out, captured, and then they all get executed anyways. Or he holds up, thinking maybe the men from the Alamo are coming to him, that they got out, and we have a battle there that lasts a little longer. Either way, I think they're going to be an impediment in some form or fashion to Santa Anna's forces moving to the east. And he seemed to be in no general real hurry to get there. Look how long it takes, almost a month from Goliad for them to get there. Now I know they're walking and they ain't got no shoes. But he was content to not really press it. Wreaking havoc on the countryside, scaring the people. Remember, he was going for a psychological win as much as a physical warfare win. He understood the brutality and the psychological nature of that. It just backfired on him. I think we most likely end up with that scenario. That we're still fighting there somewhere around San Jacinto. And I have no confidence whatsoever that Fannin would have been able to do anything much other than what happened to his force, which get out generaled, choose horrible defensive position, and just be a total screw up and get a lot of people killed. I don't think that doesn't change. But again, what would the psychological rallying cry have been at San Jacinto if there's no remember the Alamo? That psychology of that battle played a huge part in it. And if you don't have that, is that force is motivated that afternoon to do what they did? Guess we'll never know. Okay, we've had a lot of fun today. If you hadn't seen the video, I've got it linked on our site multiple times, so you can check it out there on the Womble Center. Tomorrow, it'll be overrated, underrated, rated right Thursday. We want you guys to check that out. We'll be back with you in the morning with some great Raiderland hot links and a good column waiting for you come morning. And who knows what we'll be commentating on the 60 seconds of Raiderland, which always last more than 60 seconds. We ask you to do a couple of things. Thank all of our great sponsors when you see them on social media. Buy their products when you can and support those who support Raiderland. If you ever want to be an advertiser on Raiderland, just reach out to us. Let us know. Give us a holler. We'd be glad to help promote your business in the best way that we can, like we do for all of our great advertisers. Don't forget to watch David Collier on KMEC 28 tonight. He'll be on the news doing sports and sports-like things. And there you go. So just retweet all this, share it, and put it out there, theraiderland.com.